Shabbos Parshas Tetzaveh. This week, Be'ez Hashem, will be celebrating Purim wherever you are. And the Malbim pulls out an interesting note from one of the side characters of the Megillah, Zeresh. Zeresh sounds like the Midrashim say she was the powerhouse of her home, and that means something when her home contains Haman. She told Haman when things weren't looking so good, Nafal tipol of fun of. And Pashup Shah means that you're gonna fall to the Jewish people. Once they start winning, they're winning. They're up. If Yaakov is up, Esav is down. That's it. But the Malbim says it a little differently. Malbim says she was giving him advice, not just getting him down. She was telling Haman, act like you're down. Act like Mordechai won. Act like the game is up. Because maybe then you'll have a chance of winning. Because if Mordechai thinks that he won, he might stop davening. And that's your only chance of actually beating him. The thing is that when Mordechai came back from that event, he immediately went, put his sackcloth and ashes on, and continued davening, as the Pesukim say. So it didn't work. After Haman walked with him through the streets. But that's our key. Our key is tefillah, and there are stories and stories and stories of people who were diagnosed with celiac right before Purim, and this girl's mother said the entire Tehillim over Purim. You could say the whole Tehillim over Purim, maybe with Shushan Purim also. Yeah, the Kavi Asher says that Shushan Purim is also Tainis Esther, Shushan Purim, tremendous days of tefillah as well. She said the whole Tehillim, and after Purim she didn't have celiac anymore. That's it. Yeah. Call a push. Yeah, nice them like whatever you ask for, you give. And the Baal Shem Tov and the Chassam Sofer tell us that that's why we have a mitzvah to get drunk. It's a way of giving the Satan a chance, because Hashem's giving anybody anything. The Satan's like, come on, what am I supposed to do? So Hashem says, okay, we'll make them drunk. But some people feel like, I don't feel Purim. I don't feel Purim. I'm not feeling like I'm on this crazy high level. You're telling me I'm on a high level. You have the same issue at the Pesach Seder. But Vayehi Biyimei says something incredible. He says, you don't feel like you're on such a high level, so what? So you're not going to daven? So you're not going to partake in the madrega that you are actually on? It's like a guy who gets in an elevator, gets to the 150th floor. The guy next to him is waiting for him to get out. And he's just standing there. He says, what are you waiting for? I don't feel like I walked up 150 flights. I don't feel it. Hey, you're telling me I'm on the 150th floor. Fine, I'll take your word for it. I'm not feeling it. You're on the 150th floor. Get out. You're here. It's Purim. Yes, man. You're in a Purim zone, and all the Mefarshim, that Purim is a tremendous time. L'maisa, you're here. You're on the 150th floor. Get out. Take advantage of it. And what should we daven for? There's a Ma'aser with the Meir Pramishlan. There was a couple who didn't have any children. Very, very wealthy man. And on Purim, Purim time, whatever, the Ma'aser is that she came with a message from her husband to her Meir Pramishlan saying, please give us a bracha for children. And the husband said, I'm willing to give up all my money to have a child. The woman who was relaying the message, she was so nervous in front of Rav Meir. She said, I want all my money and I want a child. And Rav Meir smiled and said, what? The Rebbeinu Shalom, he knew what she was trying to say. He said, what? The Rebbeinu Shalom can't give you money and a child? But he only has, he's rationing this year. They're very wealthy and they had children. The Shusha Pinkus calls them nickels. If you go over to your father and you ask him for a nickel, yeah, father will be like, well, why you ask me for a nickel? Ask me for $1. Ask me for $10. Like, why? What's pshat? Definitely shouldn't be. Don't undersell what we're asking the Rebbeinu Shalom for. There's a Maisa at the end of a fabrengen in 770 with years ago, the Rebbe there was an Alta Yid there after this 3, 4, 5 hour fabrengen, and he managed the whole room, hundreds and hundreds of people. They were on a different playing field to be able to sing Ufaratsta with the Rebbe. You can watch his videos; it'll change your Purim. They had great footage of the Rebbe. And this Alta Yid was trying to get out of his wheelchair, so a couple of Hasidim came over to help him. Like, where do you need to go? Is everything okay? And he said, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere. So why are you getting out of your wheelchair? He said, we just had the most uplifting, inspirational experience imaginable. But I'm just going to continue life the way it was before. Alta said, you have to do something. So yeah, I know I'm not gonna stay out of my wheelchair for very long, but I have to do something. So yeah, so Daven on Purim, say Tehillim. If you could say the whole Tehillim, all the better. But make sure that you actually do something. Get out of your chair. Wake up. Learn Musar for 10 minutes before Shachar if that's something that you don't do. Do Shnai Mikro, learn a little bit after davening if that's not what you used to. Daven Nates if that's not. If do something extra, something with Torah, Tefillah, with Avodah, because it's Purim. Because the Maisa, we're on the 150th floor. Maybe to see all of our answers, all of our Tefillahs answered on this tremendous Yom Tov of Nahapachu, where we could see any Ma'apeches. Maybe we just need to ask for them. Vayehi Biyimei Achashverosh Hu Achashverosh Vayehi Biyimei Achashverosh Hu Achashverosh Hamoilech Mehoidu V'Yadkosh Hamoilech Mehoidu V'Yadkosh Sheval V'Yesrim Umeo Medina Sheval V'Yesrim Umeo Medina Good Shabbos, Avrilach and Purim.